I died, choking on my own blood in the back of that rusted Ford pickup, the taste of betrayal as sharp as the knife my cousin Jake had jammed between my ribs. 1 second, I'm gasping for air on a deserted dirt road outside Boise, Idaho, whispering "why" to his cold eyes. The next, I'm jolting awake in my childhood bedroom, the floral wallpaper peeling like old skin, my heart pounding like I'd just run a marathon from hell. I'm 25 again, staring at the calendar on my nightstand. June 15th, 2018, and Grandma's funeral is tomorrow, which means I haven't handed over that worthless diary yet. The one that could have saved us all if I'd only read it before they buried her secrets with her. The air smelled like mothballs and regret, that stale mix that clings to every old house in Eagle, Idaho, where the suburbs bleed into endless potato fields under a sky so blue it hurts. I sat up in bed, my silk nightgown, the one Mom bought me for my high school graduation, sticking to my skin like a second layer of sweat. My hands flew to my side, expecting the sticky warmth of blood, the jagged tear from Jake's switchblade. Nothing. Just smooth flesh under the fabric, my ribs whole, my breath coming easy for the first time in what felt like forever. But it wasn't forever. It was yesterday. No, 3 years from now, in the timeline I just clawed my way back from. I stumbled to the mirror, the one with the crack from when I threw my hairbrush at it after Dad walked out. My reflection stared back, wild brown curls, green eyes wide with the kind of panic that makes you question if you're still sane. Hannah Whitaker, age 25, alive. Not the 30-year-old mess who'd trusted her family one too many times. The ones who'd stripped Grandma's house bare after her heart gave out in that nursing home bed, fighting over her antique brooches and gold chains like vultures at a carcass. Jake and his sister Lila had taken the jewelry, the real prizes, or so they thought, while I, the disappointing granddaughter who'd moved to Seattle for a dead-end barista gig, got handed a dusty leather-bound diary with a sigh from the estate lawyer. Sentimental value only, he'd said. Yeah, right. That diary was a goddamn treasure map to a fortune buried in Swiss bank accounts and offshore deeds, secrets Grandma had squirreled away from Grandpa's shady construction deals back in the 80s.
But I didn't know that then.
Not until after the funeral, when loneliness drove me to crack it open one rainy night, pages yellowed and smelling of lavender and lies. That's when the real knife twisted. Entries detailing how Jake and Lila had been siphoning Grandma's savings for years, forging checks, selling off family land to developers for kickbacks.
And me?
I'd been the perfect patsy, the one they framed for the embezzlement when the bank came calling. Jake's knife wasn't just rage. It was cleanup. Loose ends, Han. He'd hissed as the life drained out of me. You should have stayed in Seattle. Now here I was, back before the ink dried on those forgeries. Before Lila's fake tears at the funeral, before Jake's sleazy grin as he pocketed the pearl necklace Grandma wore to her own wedding. My phone buzzed on the nightstand, an old flip model, not the smartphone I'd shattered in my final moments. A text from Mom. Funeral tomorrow. Don't be late. Family needs you. Family. The word tasted like ash. Mom. Remarried to some tool from the auto shop, too buried in her own drama to see the snakes in our garden. Uncle Ray, Dad's brother and the family golden boy, who probably greenlit the whole scam. And then there were the cousins, Jake, the charming drifter with a rap sheet longer than his bar tab, and Lila, the Instagram influencer wannabe who'd trade her soul for a Birkin bag. I grabbed jeans and a faded Boise State hoodie, my hands shaking as I laced on my sneakers. The house was quiet, Mom at her night shift, my little brother Timmy snoring in the next room, oblivious at 12 to the storm about to hit. I needed air, needed to think. Stepping onto the porch, the summer night wrapped around me like a bad dream I couldn't shake. Crickets chirped in the sagebrush, and the distant hum of I-84 reminded me how easy it would be to just drive away.
But no.
This time, I wasn't running. This time, I was the storm. The funeral home smelled like carnations and formaldehyde, a bouquet of grief that made my stomach churn. I slipped in late, sliding into the back pew as the organ wheezed out, "Amazing Grace." Grandma lay in her casket up front, looking smaller than life, her silver hair pinned just so, hands folded over a rosary. The family was all there. Mom dabbing her eyes with a tissue, Uncle Ray in his press suit, nodding solemnly to the pastor. And there, in the front row, Jake and Lila, dressed to kill literally in my old timeline. Lila's black dress hugged her like a second skin, diamonds from God knows where glinting on her ears. Jake caught my eye from across the room, flashing that wolfish smile, the one that said hey, 'cause long time. I forced a nod, my nails digging into my palms. Not this time, asshole. The service dragged, eulogies from cousins who barely visited, painting Grandma as the saint she was. Tough Idaho farm girl turned widow who bootstrapped a catering business after Grandpa's accident on the job site. I knew better now. The diary's whispers. Grandpa didn't fall. He was pushed, courtesy of a rival contractor Uncle Ray had tangled with. Grandma covered it up, stashed the hush money in hidden accounts to keep the family afloat. And Ray? He'd been dipping in ever since, with Jake and Lila as his eager accomplices. After the burial at the cemetery overlooking the Boise River, dirt clumping on her grave like accusations, I hung back as the crowd dispersed. The estate reading was set for that afternoon at Ray's law office downtown, a squat brick building that screamed small-town sleaze. I drove Mom's old Civic, Timmy buckled in the back, chattering about video games to fill the silence. "You okay, hon? You look like you saw a ghost." Kid had no idea. Ray's office was a time capsule of wood paneling and faded diplomas. We crammed into the conference room. Me, Mom, Timmy, Ray, Jake, Lila, and a couple distant aunts who mostly nodded off. Ray cleared his throat, spectacles perched on his nose like a vulture's beak. Edith Whitaker left a simple will. House to Diane, that's Mom. Furniture divided equally. Jewelry to be appraised and split among the grandchildren. He slid a velvet box across the table, and Lila's eyes lit up like Christmas. Inside, Grandma's sapphire ring, the emerald earrings from her honeymoon, a locket with Grandpa's photo. Jake's fingers twitched toward it first. "And the rest?" I asked, voice steady despite the rage boiling in my veins. Ray blinked, surprised I'd spoken up. In the old timeline, I'd been too shell-shocked to question. "The personal effects. Hannah, Edith specified you get her diary, the one from her dresser. Said it was for your writer's soul, or some such." He chuckled, sliding over the leather volume, wrapped in brown paper. It felt heavy in my hands, like holding a grenade. The aunts murmured sympathies. Jake shot me a pitying look. The family historian gets the scribbles. Better than nothing, hon. Lila snatched the jewelry box before anyone could blink. "Finders keepers on the pearls, right? Mom always said they looked best on me." She looped them around her neck, admiring her reflection in her phone screen. Mom sighed, too tired to fight. Uncle Ray just smiled, that oily lawyer grin. "Gotcha," it said. I clutched the diary tighter, peeling back the paper right there. The first page. "To my Hannah, the one who sees the stories in the shadows. Read when you're ready. Love, Gran." My throat tightened. They thought it was junk, sentimental drivel from a doting grandma. But I knew the truth ticking inside like a bomb. Account numbers, passcodes, deeds to properties in Florida and Nevada that could net millions if liquidated right.
And the kicker?
Proof of Ray's embezzlement, Jake's forged signatures, Lila's wire transfers to her Vegas sugar daddy. All of it, chronicled in Grandma's neat cursive, hidden in plain sight. As we filed out, Jake clapped me on the shoulder. Too hard, too familiar. Tough break, cuz. But hey, memories last longer than rocks, right? His breath reeked of cheap whiskey. I met his eyes, forcing a smile that didn't reach my soul. "Yeah, Jake. Memories last forever." That night, alone in my room with the door locked, I cracked the diary open under the glow of my desk lamp. Pages flew by. Grandma's early days, marrying Grandpa Young, the thrill of his construction bids winning big in the Boise boom. Then the shadows, Grandpa's suspicions about Ray's side deals, the accident, on the site that left him paralyzed and bitter. "He knew too much," she'd written. I paid the silence, but Ray never forgave us for keeping the books clean. Entries from the 90s detailed the hidden accounts, a safety deposit box in Zurich, stocks in shell companies. By 2010, when Grandpa passed naturally, Grandma had squirreled away enough to buy freedom for all of us if we'd let her. But Ray found out. He's bleeding us dry, one entry read, dated just months before her heart attack. Jake and Lila help him, thinking it's their inheritance. Poor fools. Hannah, if you're reading this, fight for what's yours. Burn them if you must. Burn them. The words echoed like a dare. I slammed the book shut, pulse racing. In my old life, I'd ignored it too long. Tried to confront them nicely, ended up with a blade in my gut. This time, no mercy. But revenge isn't clean. It's a dirty business, especially in a town where blood ties run thicker than the Snake River. First step, play dumb. Let them think I was still the pushover cousin, the one who'd pawned the diary for rent money. The next morning, I met Lila for coffee at the corner bakery downtown, her idea, probably to gloat. She breezed in, pearls dangling, designer sunglasses perched on her bleach blonde head.
Han.
Oh my God, you look exhausted. The funeral hit hard, huh? She air-kissed my cheek, sliding into the booth with a latte in hand. Yeah, Gran's gone. Sucks. I sipped my black coffee, watching her preen. In the old timeline, this was where she confided about Ray's generous loans, code for the scam. She leaned in, voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. Listen, about the jewelry split. Jake and I were thinking since you're, single and all, maybe we pool ours and invest? Ray's got this hot tip on crypto. Her eyes flicked to my empty ring finger, judgment dripping like honey. I laughed, short and bitter. Crypto? With what, my barista tips? Nah, I'm good. Her smile faltered. Good. Plant the seed. I'm not buying what you're selling. By afternoon, I was at the library, the one with the ancient computers that whirred like angry bees. No smartphone yet. I'd lost mine in Seattle, or so I told Mom. Using the diary's clues, I logged into public records, cross-referencing property deeds. There, a cabin in the Sawtooths under Grandma's maiden name, worth $500K easy. And the Zurich account? I'd need a VPN and balls of steel, but first local proof. A quick search pulled up Ray's firm filings, subtle discrepancies, loans to Jake's auto repair shop that smelled like money laundering. Timmy burst through the door that evening, backpack slung low. Han, Uncle Ray called. Said you're getting the attic junk from Gran's house tomorrow. Wants you to sort it before the estate sale. His eyes were big, innocent.
Sort it.
Code for dig up anything valuable they missed. I ruffled his hair. Sounds fun, Squirt. You in? He grinned. If there's pie. Grandma's house was a relic on the edge of town, white clapboard with a sagging porch swing where she'd read me fairy tales. Now it was a ghost, furniture shrouded in sheets, air thick with dust and memories. Ray met us there, keys jingling, Lila trailing with a cardboard box for her share. Jake was AWOL, probably nursing a hangover at the tavern. Attic's all yours, Hannah, Ray said, handing me a flashlight. His smile was all teeth. Anything worthwhile, we'll appraise it fair. Up the creaky stairs, past cobwebs thick as regrets, the attic opened like a tomb. Boxes of Christmas ornaments, Grandpa's old tools, photo albums yellowed with time. Timmy poked around, unearthing a porcelain doll that made him yelp. I beelined for the trunk under the eaves, the one the diary mentioned. Locked, but the key was taped inside the cover, Grandma's sly touch. Inside, yellowed letters, stock certificates, and a metal lockbox. Heart-hammering, I pried it open. Passports in false names, a thumb drive labeled taxes, and a single check made out to me for $250,000, dated a week before her death. In case I don't make it, the note read, use it to start over. Love you more than words. Lila's voice floated up from below. Find anything shiny, Han? I snapped the box shut, shoving it into my backpack. Just ghosts, I called back. That night, alone with the diary and the check, doubt crept in like fog off the river. Revenge sounded good in theory. Expose Ray. Watch Jake and Lila crash and burn. But how? Call the cops? They'd laugh. Family disputes don't stick in Idaho unless there's bodies.
Sue?
Ray was the law. No, this needed to be personal, surgical. A decision that'd haunt me. Hack the accounts, drain them dry, pin it on Jake's gambling debts. Illegal? Hell yes. But in my old life, playing by rules got me killed. This time, I'd bend them till they broke. The thumb drive hummed to life on my laptop, borrowed from the library, wiped clean. Files upon files. Bank statements, emails between Ray and a shady accountant in Reno. One caught my eye. Subject: loose end. H. Whitaker. Body: girls sniffing around Seattle. Send Jake? Timestamp: 2 months before my murder. Rage boiled over. I forwarded copies to an anonymous email, my hands slick on the keys. First leak: to the Boise Weekly, that alt-rag that loved dirt on the elite. Anonymous source tips off family fraud. Let the journalists dig. I'd fan the flames. Days blurred into a tense standoff. Lila texted incessantly. Heard you're job hunting? Need cash? Jake showed up at the house unannounced, all charm and Coors Light. Heard you got Grand's junk. Worth $1. I let him in, watched him eye the backpack by the door. When he lunged for it, I sidestepped, knee connecting with his groin. He doubled over, wheezing. What the fuck, hon? Touch it, and I scream assault. I hissed. Graham left me something. Back off. His eyes narrowed, the mask slipping. You always were the dramatic one. Mom walked in then, oblivious.
Boys.
Dinner's ready. I slept with a kitchen knife under my pillow that night, dreams haunted by blood and betrayal. The Boise Weekly hit stands like a thunderclap. That grainy photo of Ray's firm splashed across the front page. Local attorney accused of embezzling from widow's estate? I bought 3 copies from the corner mart, heart thumping as I scanned the byline. Some hungry reporter named Carla who'd chased leads like a bloodhound. Sources close to the family allege. It read, vague enough to protect me, sharp enough to draw blood. By noon, my phone was blowing up. Mom. WTF is this? Ray's furious. Lila, you bitch, this you? No denial from Jake, just radio silence, which spoke volumes. I holed up at a diner off Highway 44, nursing coffee black as my mood, the diary open on the booth table. Grandma's words anchored me. Trust your gut, Hannah. The river runs deep, but it always finds the truth. The Snake River, twisting through canyons like a vein of secrets. That's where Grandpa's accident happened, a slip on a scaffold over the rapids. Ray called it fate. The diary called it felony. Timmy slid into the booth across from me, fries in hand, swiped from the counter. Mom's crying. Says Uncle Ray's cutting us off. His voice was small, eyes searching mine. Guilt stabbed deep. This war wasn't his, but fallout didn't discriminate. I ruffled his hair, forcing lightness. It's grown-up crap, Tim. Ray's just mad 'cause someone's telling the truth for once. He nodded, but doubt lingered. Kids sensed the fractures. By evening, the whispers hit social media. Lila's Insta stories, family drama sucks. Prayers for healing. Broken heart #blessed. Hypocrite. I resisted commenting. Patience, the diary urged. Strike when they're scrambling. Ray summoned us to his office the next day, the conference room thicker with tension than cigar smoke. Mom clutched her purse like a shield, Timmy fidgeting beside her. Jake lounged in the corner, nursing a black eye, my handiwork, unexplained. Lila perched on the table edge, legs crossed, glaring daggers. Ray paced, tie askew, the weekly clutched in his fist. This libelous trash, he barked, slapping it down. Someone in this family is stirring shit. Diane, you know anything? Mom shook her head, voice quivering. Ray, please. Edith wouldn't want. Edith's dead, he snapped. And if this goes to court, we're all dragged through the mud. His eyes landed on me, probing. Hannah, you've been quiet lately. Back from Seattle, poking around the attic. Find something you shouldn't have. I met his gaze, cool as the river in winter. Just Grand's memories, Uncle. But maybe the truth's bubbling up anyway. Jake snorted. Paranoid much, Ray? Han's harmless. Always has been. Lila chimed in, saccharine.
Yeah, cuz.
If you know something, spill. We're family. Family. The word hung like a noose. I leaned forward, voice low. Family doesn't steal from the dead. Or the living. Silence crashed down. Mom gasped. Timmy's eyes widened. Ray's face purpled.
Out.
All of you.
Now.
We spilled into the parking lot, summer heat shimmering off the asphalt. Mom rounded on me in the car. What was that, Hannah? Accusing Ray? He's the only one who's ever helped us. Helped himself, you mean? I muttered. She slapped the dashboard, tears streaming. You're just like your father, running off at the mouth, burning bridges. I bit back the truth. Dad left because he sniffed Ray's rot, took a payout to vanish quietly. Diary confirmed it. Instead, I drove in silence, the check burning a hole in my glove box. $250,000. Enough to start over, but not without justice. That night, I drove to the old Whitaker land on the river's edge, a fallow 10 acres Ray had leased to loggers, for the records. Moonlight silvered the water, rapids growling like old grudges. I sat on the dock Grandpa built, diary in lap, sketching a plan on a napkin. Step 1. Liquidate the cabin deed online. Fake notary, overnight mail. Step 2. Tip the IRS anonymously on Ray's offshore shells. Step 3. Confront Jake alone. Make him confess, record it. Blackmail?
Tempting.
But deeper. Expose the murder cover-up. Grandpa's death was an accident. It was Ray's first kill, hushed with blood money. A twig snapped behind me. I whipped around, knife from my pocket glinting. Jake stepped from the shadows, hands up, grin feral. Easy, killer. Saw your car from the road. Romantic spot for a midnight meltdown. Stalking now? Classy. I didn't lower the blade. He lit a smoke, exhaling slow. Ray's losing it. Thinks you're the leak. Smart girl. He stepped closer, eyes gleaming. What did Gran leave you, really? Not that diary crap. I weighed my options. Lunge, run, talk. Talking one, barely. Enough to bury you all. Grandpa's fall? Ray's scaffold malfunction. The money trail leads straight to your tattoo parlor slush fund. His face hardened, smoke curling like accusation. You don't know shit, Han. Gran was senile, scribbling fantasies. Walk away. Take your cut, disappear like Dad. Like Dad. I pressed. The one Ray paid off to shut up? Jake flicked his butt into the river, sparks dying on the current. Family looks out for family. You start digging, you end up like him, gone. He lunged then, faster than I remembered, hand clamping my wrist. The knife clattered. Pain shot at my arm as he twisted. Gimme the book, bitch. I need him again. Higher this time, and he staggered back, cursing. I scrambled for the blade, slashing air. Touch me and I scream. Cops find your prints on that check. Game over. He paused, breathing ragged. This ain't you, Han. Seattle softened you. Or hardened you. Laughter. Bitter. Whatever. Ray wants a meet tomorrow.
Truce talk.
Bring the diary. I nodded, heart slamming. As he melted into the night, I pocketed the knife, adrenaline sour in my throat. Truce? Bullshit. Trap. Sleep evaded me. Dreams a montage of blood and water. Morning brought Mom's ultimatum. Apologize to Ray, or you're out. Timmy hugged me goodbye for school, whispering, Don't let him win, Han. Kid was sharper than he let on. The truce was at Ray's cabin in the foothills, neutral ground, he claimed. I drove alone, diary and thumb drive in my pack, a micro-recorder tucked in my bra. The place was a log monstrosity, antlers on walls, a stone fireplace crackling despite the heat. Ray poured scotch, Jake nursing a beer by the window, Lila scrolling her phone. No, Mom. Family business, Ray said. Sit, he commanded, gesturing to the leather armchair. I did, spine straight. Newspaper bullshit stops now, he began, no preamble. I know it's you, Hannah. Gran whispered in your ear, filled your head with lies. I pulled the diary from my bag, letting it thud on the coffee table. Lies? Like forging Mom's signature on the house deed? Or wiring 50K to Jake's business last year? Lila's head snapped up. What the hell? Ray's calm cracked. Proof. I slid the thumb drive across. Plug it in. Emails, transfers, even the Zurich login. Gran documented everything. Jake moved first, snatching it. Delete this shit. Touch it, and I hit send on the backups. To the DA, the feds, Carla at the weekly. Bluff, mostly. I'd set a dead man's switch on a burner email, but it was crude. Ray leaned back, steepling fingers. Classic lawyer stall. What do you want, Hannah?
Money?
The house? Name it. Justice, I said, voice steel. Confess. To Mom, to the cops. Grandpa's death, the fraud, all of it. Lila laughed, shrill. You're delusional. This is blackmail. Call it what you want. But push me, and I push back harder. The room pulsed with unspoken threats, air thick as gunpowder. Ray's eyes bored into mine. You think you're the Avenger? Gran tried that once, after the fall.
Confronted me.
Next week, her brakes failed on Icehouse Road. He sipped, casual as confessing lunch.
Accident.
My blood froze. Grandma's heart attack.
No, sabotage.
The diary hinted, but this. You killed her. Collateral, he shrugged. Like your father would have been, if he hadn't run. Rage blinded me. I lunged, recorder be damned, nails raking his cheek. Jake hauled me off, arm like a vice. Feisty now, huh? Lila shrieked. Ray dabbed blood with a handkerchief, chuckling.
See?
This is why we handle things quietly. Hannah, you're in over your head. I twisted free, grabbing the drive. This ends tomorrow. Press conference, or the files drop. Storming out, gravel crunching under tires, I fought tears. Not fear, fury. They'd taken everything, Gran. Dad's silence, my life. No more. Back home. Mom waited, bags packed. Ray called. Said you're dangerous. I can't. Timmy and I are staying with him till this blows over. Mom. He's the monster. She cupped my face, eyes pleading. Grow up, Hannah. Family sticks together, even when it's ugly. She left, door clicking like a guillotine. Alone, I wired the cabin sale, $400K pending, anonymous escrow. Then, the big play, drain a sliver from Zurich, just enough to frame Jake's account. Hack ethics?
Shot.
But survival's gray. Midnight brought a knock. Jake, bottle in hand, eyes bloodshot.
Truce, Han.
For old times, I let him in, knife hidden. He slumped on the couch, rambling. Regrets, Ray's grip, Lila's complicity. Recorder words silent in my pocket. Gran knew, he slurred. About the scaffold. I helped rig it, teenage dumbass. Thought it was a prank. Ray paid big. Then the brakes. Said it was mercy, her heart failing anyway. Confession gold. But as he reached for me, sloppy hug or worse, I saw the glint in his eye. Knife from his boot, same as before. Time looped. I dodged, countering with my own blade, slicing his forearm shallow. Blood welled, dark, real. He howled, charging. We grappled, crashing through the coffee table, glass shattering. Bitch, he roared, pinning me. Ray said finish it. Air squeezed from lungs, vision spotting. Not again. Adrenaline surged. I headbutt him, nose crunching. He reeled. I stabbed wild, thigh non-lethal. He crumpled, gasping. Sirens wailed distant neighbor call. I stood, panting, knife dripping. Self-defense, but the story. Messy. Cops burst in, guns drawn. Hands up. I dropped the blade, wrists cuffed. He attacked me. Check his boot. As they hauled Jake away, cursing my name, I glimpsed Mom's car pulling up, Timmy's face pale in the window. The war had casualties. Interrogation room. Fluorescent buzz, coffee like tar. Detective Ruiz, No-nonsense Latina with a Boise badge, slid the recorder across. Your cousin's singing like a canary. Says you lured him. But this? She hit play. Jake's drunken admissions, clear as day. Self-defense, I said. And that's motive for worse. She nodded slow. Files hit our tip line this morning. Embezzlement, fraud, murder? We're digging. By dawn, Ray was in cuffs, Lila spilling tears and details for immunity. Mom visited, hollow-eyed. I should have seen. Gran tried to tell me. Forgive yourself later, I whispered. Weary build. But the cabin wire bounced, fraud alert. Feds traced it to me. Twist. Grandma's final entry, overlooked. If they come for you, run. The real fortune's in the river, coordinates etched in the locket. Handcuffs again, this time federal. Revenge tasted bittersweet, the river's current carrying my secrets away. The federal holding cell in Boise smelled like bleach and broken dreams, a far cry from Grandma's lavender-scented attic. I paced the concrete, jumpsuit itching, replaying the clusterfuck. Jake's confession tape had cracked the family vault wide open. Ray arrested for fraud, Lila flipping like a pancake for a plea deal, even Mom dragged in for unwitting signatures. But my hack?
Sloppy.
The Zurich skim lit up like a flare. Agents swarmed my laptop, tracing the IP to the library computer I'd borrowed. Irony. Public access, private prison. Ruiz visited first, 2 coffees in hand, hers steaming, mine cold. You're a piece of work, Whitaker. Bleed your cousin dry, drop bombs on the family, then play the hero? Feds want conspiracy to defraud. I sipped, bitter. Self-defense on Jake. The rest?
Exposing crime.
Gran's diary's legit evidence. She tapped a folder. It is. Corroborates everything. Ray's scaffold sabotage in '89, break job on Gran's Buick in 2017. Even your dad's disappearance. Off-grid in Arizona, paid hush. But that $10K transfer? Your prince. Justice isn't tidy, I said. Ray killed her. Would have killed me. Sympathy flickered. DA's offering, testify full, misdemeanor hacking, probation. But the river deed, that cabin sale? Grandma's name, your execution. Intent to conceal. The locket. I'd pawned it weeks back for bus fare to Seattle. Ironic full circle. Inside, etched chords, 43.6 N, 116.2 W. A sandbar in the snake, GPS to a waterproof case. Bearer bonds, $2 million face, untraceable. Grandma's ace. I want a deal, I countered. Full immunity for the rest.
Ruiz laughed.
Bold, but useful. Ray's law license revoked. Assets frozen. Lila's facing 10. Jake, attempted murder plus. Your mom's cooperating, custody of the kid.
Timmy.
The thought twisted. Tell her I'm sorry. Prove it. Trial prep blurred days into weeks. I lawyered up pro bono, some ACLU-type sniffing civil rights angles on the family cover-up. Depositions dragged. Mom, tearful, recounting Ray's loans that bankrupted her diner dream. Timmy, via video, drawing me pictures of superhero Hannah. Jake, in orange, snarling through the glass. You'll rot, cuz. Family curse. Ray's turned chilled deepest. Shackled in the pen, he sneered. You think you won? Gran was weak, confronted me, paid the price. Like you will. Ignorance was your shield, I shot back. Now it's gone. He leaned close, whisper venom. The fortune? Half's mine, offshores you missed. Lila stashed it. Testify wrong, and Timmy's next. Threat hung heavy. But the twist, during discovery, feds uncovered Lila's burner phone logs, texts to a hitman in Reno. Not Ray, her.
Handlahan.
Loose end. My murder? Her call, Jake the Muscle. Sisterly betrayal, deeper cut. Courtroom day dawned crisp October, leaves turning the courthouse lawn to fire. I took the stand in a borrowed suit, diary and evidence bag like a talisman. Prosecutor paced. Ms. Whitaker, describe the entries regarding the 1989 incident. Grandpa's fall. I began, voice steady. Rigged harness, Ray's orders. Jake, 17, held the rope. Grandma paid $500,000 hush, seed for the hidden accounts. Objections flew. Ray's new lawyer, slicker than sin, painted me vengeful. Ms. Whitaker benefited from these crimes? Sold the cabin under false pretenses. Survival, I countered, after Ray's threats. Jury murmured. Carla from the Weekly covered it live, her column next day. Whitaker Widow's Web. Granddaughter's Revenge or Righteous Reckoning. Verdicts rolled. Ray, life for manslaughter, grandpa, and murder, gran. Jake, 25 for assault and conspiracy. Lila, 15, ratting sealed a lighter fall.
Me?
Misdemeanor dropped to community service. Hacking, in service of justice. Judge ruled, eyeing the diary like scripture. Mom waited outside, Timmy in tow, hugging fierce. We keep the house. Grandswill stands. Your share's the cabin legit now. But the locket cords nagged. Weekend hike to the river, Timmy splashing stones, Mom unpacking lunch. We kayaked the bend, GPS beeping. There, submerged case, bonds pristine. $2 million. Grandma's ghost gift. Fortune, Mom breathed, eyes wide. Not ours alone, I said. Scholarship fund. For kids like Timmy. No more snakes. She nodded, tears mixing with spray. Proud of you, Han. Gran too. Back in Eagle, life stitched anew. I finished community service teaching coding at the library, irony's gift, then enrolled at Boise State, creative writing. The diary? Published anonymized, bestseller on small-town secrets. Carla co-authored. We split proceeds. Jake wrote from prison. Hate you, but respect the play. Burned us good. Lila's letters begged forgiveness. Burned unread. One night, porch swing creaking, Timmy asleep inside. I traced the river's glow. 众星, the bone. Betrayal scarred. But fortune?
Not gold, but time.
The power to rewrite endings. Twists echo. Dad surfaced, grizzled in a diner booth months later. Heard about Ray. Knew you'd fix it. Hug awkward, but real. Family, fractured but mending. No perfect happy, scars itch in rain. But vengeance? Cathartic as the current, carrying poison downstream. I lived for Gran, for me. In the end, the worthless diary wasn't junk. It was the blade that cut deepest, clean and true.